Okay, class, tonight we're going to do a quick review of complex numbers. So we're going to talk about the cycles of I, and we're going to write complex number in standard form, which is a plus bi, where a is the real part, and then bi would be the imaginary part. Imaginary because it has the I, the complex number part bit. And then we're going to do some arithmetic with complex numbers. So remember, I is the square root of -1. So if we take this and square both sides, the square and the square root cancel, so -1 is I squared. So I cubed, which is I squared times I squared is -1. And I, well, that's just I, so I cubed is equivalent to minus I. Okay, I to the fourth, that's I squared times I squared. When you add your exponents, I squared is -1. So I to the fourth is -1 times -1, which is +1. And then once we get to I to the fifth, that's I to the fourth times I. I to the fourth is 1. And I, well, that's just I, so I to the fifth is I. So we're back to where we started with I. So if we go I to the sixth, it's going to be equivalent to I squared and I cubed and so on. So that it just keeps cycling around, so it doesn't actually get any higher, just I minus 1 minus I 1, I minus 1 minus I, and so on. Those are the cycles of I. So we're going to write in standard form. So it's just like simplifying with variables. So you would add kind of like terms. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4i plus 2i is 6i. That's how you add complex numbers. Subtracting, same idea, but you do have to distribute. So we have 7 minus 4, and 3i minus 4i is minus I. Then we're going to multiply. When you multiply, you either have to box method or FOIL. So I'm just going to do first, which is minus 3, outer 12i, inner minus 2i, and last is plus 8i squared. And this I squared is exactly why I brought up the cycles of I. I squared, remember, is minus 1. So we have minus 3 and 8 times minus 1, which gives us minus 11. And then 12i minus 2i is plus 10i. And that is how you multiply complex numbers. The last one we want to do is division of complex numbers. So we're going to write it in standard form. So again, standard form is a plus bi. So to divide, whenever we divide, we want to multiply by the complex conjugate of the denominator. So to find the conjugate, it's always the opposite sign in front of the I of the denominator. So it's 3 minus I would be the conjugate. 3 minus I. So we just find the conjugate at the bottom and multiply both by it. So we're going to have to use FOIL or box method. So first gives me 3, outer gives me minus I, inner gives me minus 6i, and last gives me plus 2i squared. And in the denominator, 3 times 3 is 9, outer is minus 3i, inner is plus 3i, and last is minus I squared. And again, it's not t. I squared is minus 1. So we're going to replace I squared with minus 1 in the top and the bottom. So we have 3, then we have minus 1 times 2 is minus 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1. Minus I minus 6i is minus 7i, all over 9. These middle terms cancel out. We have minus I squared. I squared is minus 1, so it's 9 plus 1, or 10. But to get it into standard form, it's a plus bi. So we have to separate. So this is 1 over 10, and this is minus 7 over 10i specifically. So you can clearly read your A, and then your B, and then your I. And that would be in standard form. So we always put our complex numbers in standard form, which is A, the plus or the minus, bi. And that is how you divide complex numbers. And have a good night.